接下来进行的是主题8，让我们掌声欢迎主持人黄美婷教授。
好，谢谢大家，也谢谢线上的朋友。我们来到这个圣赫德加研讨会的最后一场。然后首先让我介绍一下今天的讲者。今天的讲者是 Dr. Louis von Hecken。那他目前呢是比利时圣赫德加学院的医师，也是研究人员，那也是上比亚基金会Bitram 计划的负责人。那他的经历非常丰富，特别是他用圣赫德加的方法，运用在医学上、临床医疗上，已经超过30年的经验。那所以我们今天非常的荣幸可以邀请到von Hecken 医师来替我们讲今天的讲题。那他今天的讲题跟忧郁症有关系，是特别跟黑胆汁在人体的血液中影响人的这个情绪的问题，他会对我们做一个比较详细的说明，而且他今天的论点就还没有很多人发表过，就是目前还是非常新的看法。Okay, so that is welcome Dr. von Hecken to give us speech. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Dear Director of the Fu Yen Catholic University in Taiwan, dear medical students, staff of the university, thank you also Professor Sonia Maiting Huang for the invitation to hold this online conference for you. It's a big honor for me to have the opportunity to speak to you who are so far away from Belgium. But I heard from Dr. Michael talk that there is already some years of connection with Germany and Taiwan, and that there are already many friends of Hildegard in Taiwan, which I was very surprised about that. The topic which I have chosen is one of my favorites. The title, like you said already, Black Conglomerates, which is a more neutral term which I use when I speak to doctors. So it's a more scientific name for the melancholia, which is the word that Hildegard uses often, very often. And I discovered these black conglomerates or this melancholia as physical products in the normal blood, not only melancholia as an emotion, as depression, but products in the blood I can see under the microscope. And this is a new element that has not yet been described. Chapter 1, Introduction. Saint Hildegard, who lived in the 12th century, wrote 2 medical works. We heard it from Professor Embach. 2 medical works, which are now known under the name of Physica and Causae Curae, which was in fact originally 1 book. And for 30 years, since 1990, I studied and brought in practice her medical writings as a complementary medicine. Yes, that's also important. What Professor Embach said, it must be regarded as complementary. And I don't regret that I changed my classical general practice. I'm a general practitioner. I don't regret that I changed to the natural medicine, the holistic medicine, you can tell also, where all elements of the human being are considered spiritually, psychologically, and the body. So here you see the little book, Hildegardis Causae Curae, edition from Paulus Kaiser, 1903. These two books, Physica and Causae Curae, are the basic literature for those who want to bring in practice the Hildegard medicine. So in this little book, she writes a lot about this melancholia. She writes about the origin of the product, the melancholia, the black conglomerates. She writes about the influence on the emotions. They make you sad and fatigue, and on the physical health. It can cause migraine. It lies on the basis of cancer. And in this modern chaos in the society, there are many people who suffer from the chronic fatigue syndrome and burnt out syndrome. And of these diseases, one can not find anything in the classical examinations. So in my opinion, these black conglomerates play an important role in these modern new diseases, fatigue, burnt out, depression. So like Professor Embach said, there is only one manuscript of the Causae Curae, which is in the Library of Copenhagen. This is the manuscript, the only manuscript we have. There is, from Physica, there are 10 manuscripts in Brussels, Paris, Germany, but from Causae Curae only one. And it is written about after Hildegard's life, after the death of Hildegard. In 2003, a new text critical Latin edition was published by Laurence Moulinier, French woman, French professor. And this new Latin edition is translated in German, and you can buy it at the Abbey of St. Hildegard. So let us start now with reading some parts in the book Causae Curae. Chapter 2, 4 body fluids, 4 characters. So you can see the title for body fluids. And like also Professor Embach said, health depends on the harmony between these 4 fluids. But they are different. They are different in different persons. So we are not equal. Today we talk about one of the 4 characters, the melancholic character, the dark side of genius. Many artists, here this is a picture, painting of Rembrandt. Now a text out of Causae Curae. There are also other people. She describes first the dry type, and one of the 4 is the melancholic people who are sad, shy, vague in their minds, such that there is no determination in them. They have no backbone, as it were, but they are like a strong wind, which is useless for all herbs and fruits. Hence, a flag grows in them, which is neither humid, that's the humidum from Hildegard in Latin, nor firm or dry. The spissum is the word of Hildegard, but tepid, lukewarm. It is like mucus that is sticky and that is stretchable lengthwise like glue. Here you see, I could understand this description as a description for the white blood cells. When you have a cold or bronchitis, the yellow or green expectorations are also stretchable lengthwise like glue, and they contain dead white blood cells. Tepid is mucus that is sticky and that is stretchable lengthwise like glue. I see it under the microscope. This is a personal microscopic observation. But on the internet, I found these images of white blood cells. Here, an activated granulocyte. Here, a walking macrophage in Flemish. It's a Greek word. Macros, big, phagen is eat. It's a cell that is a big eater. And now an important sentence. This phlegm is the source of the melancholia. An example of the melancholia in the blood. The black conglomerate. Around are the red blood cells. This phlegm is a source of the melancholia, which originally originated from the seed of Adam. Adam and Eve. The seed of Adam contains the genetic substance DNA. And then Samen und Eizelle kommen zusammen. Here you see a DNA double helix. It is for medical students. So the seed of Adam contains the genetic substance DNA. Even so, contains the nucleus of white blood cells, our genetic information, DNA. And we repeat, this phlegm is the source of the melancholia, which originally originated from the seed of Adam by the whispering of the serpent, because Adam followed the serpent's advice to eat the apple. So the black bile, Schwarzskalle, Germany, melancholia, Heidegger, came in humanity since the original sin. And this melancholia is one of the most used expressions in the medical works of Hildegard. So it is a very important term or expression, which when you don't understand what it means, it's very difficult to understand Hildegard. So I was very curious to see if I could find these products under my microscope. And yes, to my great surprise, I remarked in the blood as well of healthy people as in the blood of sick people, through microscopic examination, here and there, unknown elements, mostly in the form of unformed black conglomerates in different forms. They can be small, but also large. Sometimes also they have a blue pigment or brown. Now I understand why a contusion with inner bleeding can have all kinds of. Someone hit your eye, it becomes green, blue, black, yellow. So it is possible that the white blood cells can have also a blue color. They can also have the form of threads, which, or with or without the blue pigment. Remember the picture I showed of the walking macrophage. They also produce gas, the so-called fumum melancholiae. Fumum melancholiae is, in English, the smoke of the melancholia, the smoke of the black bile, which can be seen as a gas bubble that emerges from the conglomerate. Hildegard describes it as fumum melancholiae, like I said, the smoke of the melancholia. And these conglomerates and threads are not yet described, to my great surprise, because there are thousands of hematologists who look in the laboratories to the blood. But I think it is because when they don't know it, they don't recognize it. That's why I want to present them to you in the hope that more doctors also recognize this element. We see these conglomerates in the normal blood, but large quantities in patients with the chronic fatigue syndrome and in patients with chronic depression. And we do this microscopic examination to find the black conglomerates always in the blood of the bloodletting, because at these moments of the bloodletting, the blood is purified from waste products, like these black conglomerates. This is the technique, yes, a fresh drop of blood from the EDTA tube, that is the tube used for counting the cells and where the blood stays fluid. It's placed on a microscope slide, and the cover slip is placed on top. And we view the preparation unstained, no staining. It is not a classical method in the laboratory, because in the laboratory they want to fix all things so that they can send it to another laboratory to see if they see it also. But here it is a moving, living drop of blood that changes in the time. It is a direct observation within half an hour after that I did the bloodletting. I look at the microscope and then I see all these things. The microscope is a light microscope, no big electronic microscope or so, no, a microscope for general practitioners, but a very good one, under a magnification of 100 times and 400 times. So we are therefore dealing with a wet blood sample without stain. This is a very simple procedure that can be done by any doctor who is equipped with a microscope. Because these products cause tristitia, is the word of Hildegard, tristitia, sadness in English, and anger, wood, these two, and the relation between sadness are well described by Hildegard. So there is not only the melancholia in the blood as a waste product, but also a second kind of bile, probably familiar with the bile we know in the modern medicine. Also, to our great surprise, we found that these conglomerates are normal breakdown products of the white blood cells, according to our interpretation of the body fluid lukewarm lipid. Here you see a polymorphonuclear white blood cell. look to the form of the nucleus. It is polymorpho. It has many forms. Also, the black bile and the black conglomerate have often these forms. Another example, here you see a mononuclear white blood cell. Has the form of a bean. And this is melancholia. Remark the likeness of the nucleus of the monocyte. I hope that soon other doctors and scientists, hematologists, can confirm and make public or confirm my observations. Why not in this university, in the Fujian University of Taiwan? So I repeat many things. As we already said, from her description, the description of Hildegard, we deduced that these black products, brown, even blue, waste, these are waste products from the white blood cells. So in short, white becomes black. According to Hildegard, these black waste products are the cause of sadness and play a role. You see, this is a painting of Vincent van Gogh. And you see even on this picture, on his eyes, the blue color of the blue or black melancholia. So these melancholy, like we said, cause sadness and play a role in the physiopathology of all major diseases, including cancer, but also in tension headaches, migraine, chronic fatigue, depression, and all kinds of diseases. When people with chronic fatigue syndrome, the doctors and the machines cannot find any cause. And my explanation is because they cannot see the black conglomerates, and they don't remark the smoke of the black conglomerate who is going through the whole body. Hildegard writes, even if the human being had not the bitterness of the bile, nor the blackness of the black bile, melancholia, he would always be in good health. She writes this in the chapter about sadness and anger, in Causeture. In short, after sadness comes the anger. These two emotions are very strongly related to each other and are the two most important risk factors for a good health. A text about the melancholia in Causeture. This melancholia substance is black and bitter and blows out all kinds of evil. Sometimes the black bile, melancholia, also makes a disease break out in the brain and at the level of the heart due to a vein fracture. So cerebrovascular accident, heart attack can be caused by this black bile or the smoke of the black bile. This black bile also begets sadness and doubt in every consolation, so that man finds no joy whatever, neither in heavenly things nor in the consolations of present life here on earth. However, this melancholia substance is peculiar to every human being because of the first temptation of the devil, because man violated the precept of God by eating the apple. And through this eating, the melancholia grew in Adam and in all his descendants, and it stirs up every disease in the people. But because the aforementioned phlegma, the aforementioned body fluid, is lukewarm, it does not suppress the power of the black bile substance like the two other body fluids. So there are people who don't suffer from the black bile because they have more sickle, dry, more red blood cells, or more water in the blood, and they can suppress the power of the black bile. So that's there. But people with the lukewarm phlegma, they have not this possibility, this power to suppress the black bile. One of them has such a great force in the humid, the other such a great force in the solid and bitter, that these substances resist the black bile substance, such as a pot hanging above the fire, pushing the fire down so that it does not flare up. We can show the next one, case study, a woman suffering from extreme fatigue, 9 conglomerates in 1 drop of blood in a patient with chronic fatigue syndrome. Next one, next one, next one, next one, next one, next one. We spoke already about it, that there can be gas bubbles, the smoke of the black bile. Next one, next one, next one, next one, next one. Then there are threads originating from the black conglomerates. Next one, several examples, black conglomerate with threads. Next one, next one, next one, next one, next one, next one. The blue pigment we showed already. Next one, next one. Black and blue together in one conglomerate. Next one. Black and blue. Next one, next one. Brown, next one, next one, next one. Here you see a white blood cell under the microscope, and you see it like it moves, it is moving, and like two ears. And look to the next one, also the same two form of the two ears. The form of this nucleus, kernels. There are kernels in the white blood cells, and also kernels in the black conglomerate, and the same form of the nucleus of the white blood cell. Then the next one, intermediates. Yeah, okay, the same white blood cell, almost dead or total dead, and black bile, the same form. There are also intermediate stages from white to black. Here it has been published in a journal of Catholic doctors, Acta Medica Catholica. What can we do to evacuate or to diminish the black bile? And I had foreseen the part about the bloodletting, but I don't know if the time allows it. Dr. Tok spoke already about the bloodletting, and so but it's a remedy. So in conclusion, one, the black bile exists. Two, everyone has it, but some suffer more than others from it. It is an important cause of all severe diseases and an important hygienic measure to evacuate the black bile is the bloodletting, according to St. Hildegard. And I thank you for your attention.